Who doesn't love hearing about a new product? And today I've got one for you that I think a few of you are going to be really excited about. It's been 7 years since ARB introduced the INTENSITY driving light, the very first round LED 4x4 driving light on the market. With its distinctive red rings, it was very quickly copied all around the world. One thing we've found over the years is while our customers love the INTENSITY AR21s, 32s and our AR40 light bar, there has been a desire for a little bit more range in shape and style. So today we bring to you the ARB Intensity Solis. They've been 2 years in the making, a ground up design, and what better way to wrap our heads around it than to have a chat to one of the engineers that's helped bring this to market. So welcome Simon, thanks for coming.
Thank you Mark, good to be here.
No worries, well let's head off, really easy questions.
Yep.
What do we have in the range of the Solis?
So we've got two in the range, so we're keeping on with the intensity theme, so we're just going to bring out a spot and a flood variant.
What are we looking at in regards to light output?
Most people in the market today measure their lights in pairs, so pairs of spots. So we've got a market leading distance here of 1462 metres at 1Lux.
Wow, so
which is for a pair of spots.
1462
yeah.
with a pair of spots. Now of course that's not the way everybody drives around, however it might be quite common out in the outback or in Queensland where you want to see really far down the road. What would you say the more common setup is for day-to-day guys out here touring?
So Mark, most people on the market, they go for a combination. So they have a spotlight and a floodlight, which gives them good distance down the road, but also gives them a good broad beam flood, so they can see the foreground light as well as a good distance down the road.
Absolutely, and that's what I've always run on my cars, and I really like that wide breadth of the flood out there, especially for looking for roos on the side of the road. Outside of that, if we look at, say, the LED makeup of the new light, what have we done in regards to LED configuration?
So we've increased the number of LEDs from the Intensity brand, so we've got 36 LEDs in there now. So 30 of those LEDs are 4-watt LEDs, and then we put an additional 6 LEDs in there that are 10-watt LEDs, and they give a really, really good punch down the road.
Right, and so having looked at it myself previously, I understand there's a bit of a ring of the higher wattage LEDs that are in the centre, and they're the ones that are punching down the road, is that right?
Yeah, so we put those 6 in the centre because that is the most efficient reflector in the light, so they give us even more punch down the road than if we put them in a different location.
For those out there that want to get to the heavy specifications of the LEDs, what brand are we running?
So we're running German engineered Osram LEDs.
Oh, fantastic. Well, they're definitely at the top of their game. And I guess one thing I'm really excited to hear about is the fact that we've actually brought out a light with a dimmability feature.
So Mark, we've responded to a lot of customer feedback that the intensities are too bright, and we've introduced a touchpad control with 5 preset dim settings.
That's fantastic. I've got to say, it is true sometimes, especially when you're out in the rural areas and you come across a new town, the reflections that you can get back off the street signs can be pretty overwhelming. So that's a fantastic feature, and I can guarantee you, I know a few people that will be using that. Walking away from LEDs, it's really important obviously that inside a light you need to have a really good reflector, and we can tell just by looking at this, we've gone away from the grid square pattern, we've got a completely new look. How have we come to that, and tell us a bit more about the reflector?
What we've done here is we've got 36 unique reflector cups in a one-piece design. We use computer simulations to optimise each reflector cup for performance and efficiency.
I guess when we think about reflectors and getting that light down the road, it's not just about throwing it as far down the road as much as it is about being useful to the driver and also being easy on the eyes and easy to drive by. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you go about getting an optimum pattern and what you're trying to achieve when you are doing these simulations and tuning the reflectors?
So we've gone for, it's almost a random design, which means that you don't get light shining in one direction, you get light shooting off in multiple directions. And that creates a good blend of the light throughout the whole road.
And that's really important because I've seen lights in the past with these really harsh edges, and it's very hard to follow, especially in a spot beam as they bounce around and can be quite fatiguing on the driver. So what are some of the specific attributes you're looking for in the floodlight?
So the flood, you're not necessarily looking for distance down the road, but you're looking for a more broad spectrum light. So you can see kangaroos and wombats on the side of the road.
In saying that, the light for the flood pattern is still a good 700 plus metres down the road, so you're still getting a really good throw, but it's filling out the sides, and of course you've got to be careful not to fill the foreground too much, which can be fairly distracting for the drivers.
One of the important features of this floodlight is that it's an oval shape. It's very wide in that direction, but it's very narrow in the height direction. So you're getting a lot of light out to the side of the road, but you're not getting a lot of light reflecting off the road.
Well, I think we've pretty much nailed the performance and they are an absolute winner in that category. But talk to us a little bit more about the overall design and look of the light.
So we looked at the squat design, as you see here, for two reasons. One, low centre of gravity, and two, it fits on the bottom pan of the bull bar better.
And I think that's really important. We're seeing so many more applications of driving lights being fitted to the pans of bull bars, and it's really nicely fitting into the cradle, as you've suggested, sits really low, and it's just a whole unique look, which is exactly something that our customers have been looking for.
Yeah.
One other thing I've noticed when looking at these at a profile view is that they're quite narrow at the top with all the weight and sizeability going down towards the base. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that came about?
So we went with a lower centre of gravity, and we also arched the back of the light, and that's to accommodate a lot of the older bull bars on the market and for any future bull bars we're going to do.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. It means that you've got more lateral movement to be able to set them on your bull bar, and of course, as you've said, they are lower, which means that there's less headspace issues to contend with.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've pretty well covered off on the performance. We're talking high quality Osram LEDs, we've got a really good one-piece reflector, and we're utilising the same virtually indestructible polycarbonate lens. But tell me more about what the actual housing's made out of and the heatsink here.
So the heatsink and the mount are all done in high pressure die-cast aluminium.
Okay, so a really strong composite there, perfect for off-road ability.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the INTENSITY name is synonymous with the red rings. What have we got available for customers in the Solis range?
On the Solis light, we introduced a red bezel, which comes fitted to the light, but also in the box you get a black bezel, which is easily interchangeable by the customer.
Well, that's great to see that we've brought out yet another product that is even more customisable to the vehicle. Simon, thanks very much for joining us today, and it's very clear that a lot of time, research and development has gone into bringing these Solis lights to market. Now, of course, if you're in the market to fitting some driving lights to your four-wheel drive, simply head over to arb.com.au or drop into your local ARB store and have a chat and browse through our full range of INTENSITY driving lights.